The entire sprinting world now knows that Oblique Seville is the world champion in the 100-meter dash. Depending on who you ask and how you feel about it, I guess that makes him the fastest man in the world through 2025. He ran 9.77 seconds, and I've already shared my thoughts on the race, initially after watching it. Going into it, I made my picks. And I believed, and I went on record to say this, I said on the Finish Line podcast that Oblique Seville, this season, if there ever was a year for him to get a medal, this right here would be the year. But I don't believe that medal is going to be gold. I said it, and I said it confidently. I don't take it back. I was wrong. I admit that I was very wrong about that. And now that Oblique Seville has rewritten the narrative, I've had some time to, reflect. It's evening here in the United States. I've recognized it's morning over in Tokyo, but I'm just going to give a more measured reflection, kind of looking at all of it, looking at, the comment section and kind of what people are saying back. So I'm going to try to address, the majority of what I see on this larger discussion around Oblique Seville, the 100, Noah Lyles, Kishane, Thompson, but mostly about Oblique Seville above all else. So here we go. Just, starting off with the most pressing thing, which is the narrative leading up. Because I'll recap how I understood Oblique Seville's career up until now as to why I felt the way I did. Oblique Seville's talent was never up for debate. That wasn't even in question. There's a bunch of sprinters out there who are fast. They're very talented, and they want to make world championship finals. They might even do it. They want to win a medal, and depending on the year, if a bunch of things, go right, maybe they do or they don't. But Oblique Seville had gold medal talent. That, I think I've gone on record to say enough that aligns with that. The challenge was that if you go back to 2020, he's at the Olympic Games, or 2020, 21, what have you. The games where, y'all know what I'm talking about. At those games, he doesn't make the final. 2022, he makes the world champ final but gets fourth. 2023, he gets fourth again. And then he gets hurt in the Olympic final in 2024. So that's a bunch of times we saw him in championships where Oblique Seville was not on the podium. So a lot of people in the sprinting community, people are changing their tune now because he won. But there are a lot of people, a large percentage, who didn't take Oblique Seville seriously as a gold medal threat for that reason. And then when you move the needle to 2025, I saw Oblique Seville open his season in Grand Slam track. He lost twice to Kenny Bednarik, and I never thought Kenny Bednarik was a legit medal contender. Just being real. Granted, he didn't get a medal this year because Oblique beat him. And this is, hindsight, fast forward. But we watched him lose twice in that environment. You get to the Jamaican national trials, and Kishane Thompson does what he does. Granted, I was watching live. I saw the entire cramping episode, and again, it was something straight out of a movie. The way he, gets himself back, and they, race to the line, and he gets the opportunity to represent Jamaica, and now we get to the World Championships. But before he got there, he goes back on the Diamond League circuit, and he, runs away in London and runs away in Lausanne in front of Noah Lyles, importantly. Because Noah was second in those races to him, but he was distantly off. I thought at that point that Oblique was doing oblique things because he wins one-off races during the season. He goes fast. He shows us what his capability is. But running through the championship and running through the rounds is a different bag. He had not done that for every year we'd seen on the world stage till now. And then he ran his round in reverse, where he runs the worst race of his rounds. He gets third in a prelim. Of all the prelims, the first one that they put him on paper, and if it's on paper, Oblique Seville was supposed to destroy that round. And he gets third. And he runs his way into third. It likely would have been a time qualifier anyway to get to the semis if he had gotten fourth, but it is what it is. That happened. Then he goes to the semifinals, looks a whole lot better, wins his heat. Noah Lyles wins his heat. Kishane, I believe, won his heat as well. Kishane and Kenny Bednarik, they ran basically the same time. And, Kishane, is slight behind. And then we get to the final itself. And Oblique run the personal best. He figured out how to give the best race he's ever run under the biggest, most pressure moment after a false start by Lyles. All of that happened. And, when we think about the narrative, he rewrote it. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob. And if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section because I try to read them all. He's not the first sprinter to rewrite history or rewrite the narrative. Noah Lyles rewrote the narrative. I never thought that Noah Lyles was going to be winning 100-meter gold medals. Like, I never thought that. Like, people think that I'm way more attached. I'm going to say this. People think I'm way more attached to these athletes and what's going on out there. I'm just trying to call it like I see it. Like, there's a difference between being a fan, like in the fan seat, and then trying to analyze the races. I'm just trying to call it straight down the middle. And straight down the middle, there was no good reason to take Oblique Seville in the past going into this year. And the first half of this season did not give us confidence that you should take him to win gold either. If you chose Oblique, the real evidence to do so was what happened in the back half of the season. And that's real evidence. But I was just comparing that to the years prior. But Oblique is rewriting a narrative. Like, we're not going to doubt him anymore. If Kishane Thompson had gotten the 5,000s he needed in Paris last year, he would have rewrote a narrative and we wouldn't have doubted him coming into this season. But Noah Lyles had to do the same thing, coming down to the 100, where he had, remember, if you go back to 2021, he didn't even qualify for the Olympics in the 100. I think he finished 7th or something at the USAs, deep back in the field. So then you fast forward to him not just making Team USA in the 100 in 2023, making it again in 2024, winning both. Like, that's not what I expected. The 2024 was different because now I'd seen him win one. And then he was coming back to win another. And I was like, he's been consistently fast compared to everybody else in the world, where he's going to give his best race. And you're going to have to go out there and beat him. And nobody else could do what was required. I don't think Noah Lyles ran his best race in this final. He still got a medal. He still got bronze. So shout out to him. Because to still get a medal when you, for lack of a better term, butchered it, and still got a medal, because between 25, 30, this is me visually watching, and by the time we got to 50, I was like, no, we ain't getting him. Because he had given too much space. Too much. Like the first 20, I thought, all right, we might be in this. And then the next 20, 30, I was like, I don't see that happening. But Oblique coming out on top, he reshaped the narrative. Because guess what? In sports, because this is entertainment. Like, again, I'm really not all that attached to any of these athletes. I have friends, like athletes who compete on the pro circuit, who I am friends with. And that doesn't mean I just hop on this platform and just say positive things about them all over the place. You wouldn't know who I know. And that's because I try to just call it down the middle. They are aware that I have to just call the races as straight as I possibly can with respect to what's going on. I'm not trying to be, overhanded in one direction or another, but you do got to pick a side. It's more fun that way. In sports, if you pick a side, it allows you to actually root for someone. And if at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid based off of who wins or loses, like, it don't make no real difference to me. It's just entertainment. But with all of that, Oblique has so shifted the narrative that it makes me think of LeBron James. Not that he is LeBron, but it makes me think of the LeBron James situation before he won his first NBA title. Because he had been to the NBA Finals twice, I believe, before that point. And both times, he did not perform particularly well. I mean, the first time, a little bit different. But especially with the Miami Heat. He didn't perform well the first time in the finals with them. So people were now picking against him like, will he ever win? They knew his talent was there. They didn't know if he could get it done. Oblique Seville, I knew his talent was there. I didn't know if he could get it done. And he did. Now that he has one gold medal, the question is, will he win more? I don't know. Because winning one gold medal doesn't get you into the greatness conversation. It just means that you are great. But if you want to be the greatest of the great, you're going to have to start stockpiling those medals. He now has one medal in the 100. We're not even going to worry about other events. We're just going to focus on the 100. And the rivalry between him and Noah Lyles. Because it was a rivalry if you go back to races, Grand Prix, and so on. But it didn't feel like a rivalry. Because in the race that actually matters, Noah Lyles had finished in front multiple times. Now that Oblique has one, he has to go get another to at least put him on the same level in that one event. Kishane Thompson, I don't even know where you put him on the rivalry anymore, because he's now gotten second twice at this level, like at the World Championship final, Olympic final, stage. And people have created a narrative that Kishane Thompson has this endless stratosphere of talent. Maybe he does, but that's not what we're witnessing. He runs fast at the Jamaican national trials. He's a very dominant sprinter across, the season this year, and it's clear that his talent is undeniable, just like Oblique. But when it comes to winning gold medals, the narrative is now going to be that, in the 100-meter dash, he's a silver surfer at this moment. That it doesn't really matter who it is, who's ahead of him, but somebody seems to edge him out in those moments. He can reshape the narrative going forward. I mean, there's a World Ultimate Championship coming next year. I don't really know what people think about that or where we put that on the grid. But 2027, there's another World Championship. 2028, LA, that's the games. Truth be told, if you do it at the games, that's what matters more than anything. So I'm sure that everybody, the track community cares about the Worlds, but the sports community really ain't checking for it, especially in America. If an American does not win a gold medal, we don't hear anything about the Worlds mentioned, even in a blurb write-up. No shade, just being honest. That's not what the news cycle is like here. All that being said, Oblique Seville didn't just prove me wrong. He proved a whole lot of other people wrong. People are climbing on the bandwagon now. But I never doubted Oblique's talent. Never. I think if you go back and look at my videos, I've always been clean on that. I see you all in the comments. Hey, Oblique won. Congratulations. And I gotta say this last part. I think Oblique Seville winning this championship in the 100 meter dash, because winning a 100 meter gold medal hits different than just about any other event if you ask me. I think it's actually one of the best things for the sport as a whole. No shade against Noah Lyles, but I think Oblique Seville winning, number one, you have the rivalry component. Two, I think Jamaica being on top is always, something that kind of helps to elevate the profile of sprinting. I think because people identified them with sprinting greatness, so I think that's on the board. But then also, for someone who competed in Grand Slam track, competed on the Diamond League circuit, I think to see all of that land in a World Championship gold medal, I think that's all moves the needle in a positive direction for the sport. Because I want to see the sport thrive. And the World Championships, I love it for what it is. I still think we need more. Oblique Seville gave us more. He went out there in Grand Slam track, even when he wasn't at his best level of performance yet, and competed. And he competed hard. And I watched him do it more than once. So, those are my thoughts on the Oblique Seville situation. He is now a gold medalist. He has won. And if he's going to be one of the greatest of the great, which he had the talent to do, because his talent was undeniable, but the first step is to get one. And now you're going to have to go out there and do it again. Oblique Seville has the talent to go out there and do it again. But I admit, and I'm saying it and I'm going to close on this point, I admit that I was wrong. Because Oblique Seville decided that he was no longer going to allow us to have the conversation about the 100 meter dash without bringing up his name. And I won't make that mistake again going forward. In the sport of track and field, race day is honestly the easy part, because all of the real work gets put in when nobody is watching. When you wear every day is training day gear, you can let the whole world know that your success in competition is not an accident. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below, and it always comes with free shipping. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.